Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross.
Hi, hello, hey, hi.
I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes.
Hey, welcome back. It's episode 5 of the Vzine this week, and I've had another up and down week. I've had some great things happen. I got my new book onto Amazon, which is Mindset, Marketing and Money, and one of my mates who's got a mailing list of 36,000 people, business owners, aspiring business owners, coaches, authors, consultants, mailed out for me about the book, which is fantastic. And it's free on Kindle. By the time this episode goes out though, it will be all over, and that's the downside of this week, was because I kept trying to do a mega Facebook Live mega mentoring session, and it just didn't work out because we didn't have enough broadband here. Even turning off all the gadgets in the house apart from my computer just didn't work. So I had to just swallow my, what's the word I was looking for? Swallow my disappointment, I suppose, and crack on regardless. You know, it was doomed from the start. First of all, I set it up and the guy suddenly decided to start cutting down olive trees in the back garden with a chainsaw. He wasn't really in the back garden, but he was just down the hill a little bit, and it sounded like he was in the back garden. And then the dogs all started howling because the scrap man came around, and he's got a loudspeaker on the back of the van, and he shouts out basically in Greek, "Bring your scrap metal out now," and all the dogs hate it, so they all start howling up and down the hillsides, and then they all start barking because they can hear each other. And then just as I waited till all that was over, and in between gaps in the chainsaw thing, this stray cat started meowling in the garden. It was just hilarious. So I went inside and I tried again, and just wasn't going to happen because the broadband wasn't good enough then. So even turning all the gadgets off, it just didn't work. So that was my grand plan for marketing my new book, and it just didn't work out. So I had to get over myself on that one. So what else have I been doing? I've started recording all of the 650 replies that I got from the survey, "What's your biggest challenge marketing your business online?" And I'm going to be posting those up as little video snippets on YouTube and on my Facebook page. My YouTube video is UK Marketing Mentor, so it's youtube.com/user/UK Marketing Mentor, and my Facebook page is facebook.com/Nicola Cairncross UK. What else has happened this week? It's been quite a quiet week. We've been up and down to the village a bit. It's been quite rainy here in Greece, but when it has been sunny, it's been lovely and warm. The sun has got some real heat to it now, even though it's only, well, coming into February, isn't it? So looking forward to that getting warmer and warmer. I can see that we'll be swimming, I would think, by March at this rate. Let's crack on with the Vzine, shall we? Okay, so this week I want to tell you the 3 biggest challenges that my survey threw up that business owners face with marketing their own businesses online. As you can see, I've had quite a number of responses, 650 to be precise, and I've gone through them all with 3 or 4 highlighter pens. That was good fun, and I divided them up into mindset challenges, marketing challenges and money challenges around the whole marketing issue. So I'm just going to whiz through them quickly, and I hope it will be helpful for you. See if you're falling into any of these marketing traps. Excuse the step-toe gloves, it's a little bit nippy here today. So basically the first thing that came up was a lot of mindset issues. People were looking for certain surefire strategies to market themselves online, and it was, you know, will it work? Surefire strategies, these are the kind of phrases that came up time and time again. What can I do that will, you know, be the most bang for the buck which means basically how little can I do and get away with it. And so really you've got to sort of sort your mindset out a little bit about this. I read a fantastic book called The Lean Startup, and it actually was written about starting up new software businesses, but it equally well applies to any business at all. But it could equally well apply to any marketing strategy as well, because nobody knows, and this is the brilliant thing, it takes all the weight off your shoulders. All those people out there who are worried about getting it right, getting it wrong, doing it wrong, someone else getting it right and beating the competition, you know, it's just a nonsense, because nobody knows what's going to work for your business, and nobody will be able to do your marketing just like you. There's a great book by CJ Hayden called Get Clients Now, and she outlines all the different marketing strategies that you can use. It was principally written for coaches, but it's actually just as brilliant for any solopreneur or small business owner. And she was saying, you know, just pick 2 or 3 of the marketing strategies that sound most fun to you. For example, I blooming love making this e-zine. I love seeing the results of it. I love doing just the little bits of video in between, and I love giving it to Phoebe and seeing what she makes of it. And that is a really fun marketing strategy for me. It also positions me as someone who is not afraid to speak to camera. It positions her as someone who's creative and artistic in her editing skills. It's a win-win for both of us. So going back to the will it work thing, who knows is the answer. All you can do is try it. But why not try marketing strategies that you enjoy and that are really good fun for you? The next thing is people are worried about what people think, you know, so I have to battle every time I do a Facebook Live with worrying about what people will think of me, and also I have to worry about all my competitors. Not that I think, you know, we compete at all. I think everyone attracts different people to them, but you know, I've got some people in the same kind of business marketing space, online business space in the UK alone, let alone the Americans and the Australians, who seem to do things much more professionally than me, because they have a team of people and it is just me with a camera here. So I have to really get over myself about that, and I have to realise that the kind of people I'll attract to my business, whether it's the mentoring business or whether it's the clicks and leads business, will be the kind of people who I'm just that little bit ahead of, who feel that it's a bit too scary to go after the really sort of high level stuff, but they feel they can identify with the way I'm marketing my business, and they think they could probably manage to do the same if they knew how. So I have to not worry about what some of the people I look up to think of what I'm doing. I have to realise that they're actually going to be quite encouraging. I would be if it was me. So I have to not worry about that. You have to not worry about what your family think of what you're doing, because let's face it, they're not doing what you're doing. They're not running a business. They're not doing their own marketing. So whenever anyone criticises you or makes a comment, somebody recently called my Vzine 18 minutes of amateur video, which was a little bit cutting and hurtful, but I know that person didn't mean to be. And I also know that because they won't watch 18 minutes of amateur video, although this is going to be 18 minutes, they won't see me talking about this. So you have to remember that not everyone's watching your every move all the time. Most people can't be bothered. Most of my family, apart from Phoebe, who has to watch this stuff, haven't even watched all my Vzines all the way through. So please don't worry about what people think of you. It will cripple you, and it will stop you taking any action around your marketing at all. So those are the 2 biggest mindset issues. There were a lot more, but these are the ones that jumped to mind as I was going through my list for you today. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the marketing side of things. The 2 or 3 challenges that came up most of the time were people looking for most bang for their buck. That again is a search for certainty. They want to know which marketing strategy is going to be the cheapest and is going to give them the most outcome. Well, the answer is nobody knows, because you could do something that is dirt cheap that might go viral, or you could do something that's very inexpensive and it could just get, you know, crickets, or you could spend a lot of money on some marketing, for example television or radio or print ad, and get absolutely zero response at all. I know people who've spent £25,000 on taking a stand at their local business show, for example, or even got up to Excel in London and haven't made a bean from it. So, you know, I also know people who've had phenomenal success. You know, they've taken up a fabulous sports car and put it on their stand, and they filled the stand with gorgeous girls, and they just filled the stand not with professional salespeople, just with people who were passionate about the product, who talked to any people who came onto the stand as if they were just real human beings, and it worked an absolute treat. So there is no certainty around what you're going to do. All I can recommend is that you try things out as inexpensively as possible. Track the results. That's the most important thing. If you're going to take a print ad out, or a radio ad, or a television ad locally, for example, make sure you send them to a special page on your website, and you can track how many visitors that page gets, and you'll know how effective that ad has been, especially if there's a call to action on that page that nobody else would have been able to see or find. So that's my tip on that one. A lot of people in the survey were worried about the techie stuff, not knowing what to do techie wise. Now, a little while ago I would have said, oh, it's easy, it's simple, but actually nowadays it isn't. I had one person came to me the other day who has got access to lots of big databases and lots of traffic, and she was saying, oh, I want all this for my business. I want an autoresponder, I want a podcast, I want to write a book, and I was trying to encourage her to join my membership site, because she was asking me so many questions on Facebook Messenger that it was getting to the stage where it was like almost like a one-on-one consultation, for which my regular one-to-one clients pay quite significant amounts for. So I had to say to her, join the membership site, I can answer all these questions inside the membership site, and then everybody will learn who's in there. So it's about thinking about sharing your knowledge more widely, and that also gives you some way to send someone who's asking you lots of questions privately that you don't want to just brush off, because you don't want to be rude to people, but equally it's your valuable time. So if you've got a way of sharing your knowledge, and that can go into your marketing. So if you've got a number of most asked questions, lots of your clients or customers ask you the same questions over and over again, that's the basis for some of your marketing. You can turn that into video, you can do Facebook Live with it, you can put it onto YouTube, you can even put into YouTube Live or Instagram Live. 60-second tips on Instagram would be absolutely fantastic right now if you did them on video. The other thing was lots of people want to DIY, so they come to my membership site, mentoring membership site at nicolacairncross.com, and they want to sign up to the inner circle so they can find out, and they want to know that every single training is going to be in there. And actually, no, I haven't put a training for absolutely everything in there, because sometimes there's better training outside. I know of a better training for podcasts than I could ever produce, for example, and I would send someone to that training, whether it's a free training or a paid training. I would send them there, because there's no point in me making trainings about things that I know there are better trainings out there. So I'm not going to do that, but you wouldn't know if you couldn't ask me, and so that's the importance of it. And I've got to encourage you guys to stop thinking about learning how to do everything yourself. I mean, it is so complicated now. It's not complicated in the strategy. The strategy hasn't changed that much at all. It's complicated as in the different tools you can use, the different software. For example, is Infusionsoft right for you now? Is it ClickFunnels better? Is ActiveCampaign better? Should you use just Drip or Aweber for your email? Things change all the time. So that's, and I've either used or use, or I've got clients that have used pretty much everything. So I've got a really good handle on what's right for your business right now at this stage in your marketing development. But don't think about doing it yourself. I know that this lady who was talking to me on Facebook Messenger, I had to say to her, you've got to think about outsourcing, because you are not going to be able to do it all. You're not going to be able to do the techie bits, you're not going to be able to do the integrations, you're not going to be able to do the copywriting, you're not going to be able to create the overall strategy and then do all those other bits. You're not going to be able to set up a podcast yourself, as well as doing a whole marketing funnel and then writing a book and getting it onto Amazon, even though I managed to get my book onto Amazon in about 3 hours the other day. But the point is that if I hadn't had 20 years experience online knowing how software works, I would have really struggled with that process. So try and think about creating the strategy of what you want to happen and which marketing platforms you're going to use, and then go and find someone who can do each of the techie bits for you. Even if you end up employing a VA to coordinate operations, that would be a much better investment in your time and money than trying to learn how to do it all yourself. It will take you years, I promise you. And finally, the money. Let's talk about the money on the marketing, shall we? Most business owners want to spend as little as possible. In fact, I was watching a video, Gary V video, where he was talking to pool and spa installers and cleaners. I mean, really fantastic keynote speech he gave. So go to Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube and look for the one where he's talking to pool and spa owners, installers, sorry. Fantastic value in that on local local business marketing particularly. But it came out that lots of these people were getting business by referral, and they don't have a marketing budget at all. You know, some of them were turning over like 500,000, 1 million, 3 million, 10 million. No marketing budget. What's going on with that? So I highly recommend a book called Profit First. It's by a guy called Michael something, and his surname's a bit Russian sounding, or Czechoslovakian. It's Eastern Europe, I think. Look it up on Amazon. Profit First it's called, and it's a brilliant book about how to really work out your money in your business so that you know how much you should be spending on marketing depending on your turnover and profit, and how, you know, as your business grows, your marketing budget should change. The other thing people want to know about is what to spend it on. So if you've got a marketing budget, people want to know what they should be spending it on. Well, again, I think it comes back to what you most enjoy and what you're good at. You should certainly have a virtual assistant. You can get one of those really inexpensively, and mine's fantastic. She's in Portugal, so she's on the same time zone as the UK. She speaks fluent Portuguese and fluent English, and she's just an amazing person. And I use her to find and then coordinate my team of outsourcers. So for example, there's one chap who's brilliant at video editing in Pakistan, but he's not creative, so he would do any sort of jobs where it didn't involve putting music to it and making things funny and zooming in and, you know, really being creative with it all. And then there's another girl who turns blog posts into PowerPoint slides, and then there's another chap who does the voiceovers, so you can actually get a blog post turned into a video by getting a voiceover done and getting the text of a blog post turned into PowerPoint slides. And then Cyril in Pakistan will put the whole lot together into a YouTube video for me. But Patricia would coordinate all that. I would tell her what my outcome is. She would then make it happen with the right set of people. So that's the kind of thing you should be spending your marketing budget on. Not expensive print, TV and radio ads where you can't track the outcome, but you really want to make sure that your content strategy is bringing people to your website, which is where the sale is made. So I think I've said quite enough about this. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these little videos just talking about the different challenges, as you can see, colour coordinated challenges over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, go over to Amazon and get my book Mindset, Marketing and Money. Even if it's not free, it'll still only be about $3.49 on Kindle, I think, so well worth your investment. Some great stories in there. Okay, so what's on the blog and the podcast this week? On the podcast at ownitthepodcast.com, we've got a client challenge of the week, which was all about what to sell online, why and how you should make your first products. And even if you're a high-end service provider or you've got a high-ticket product, you should still have one or two interim things that people can buy, and that starts to weed out the people who are just looking for free stuff from the people who are looking to actually move through your marketing funnel and eventually become a client or a customer. And last week's on the blog was last week's episode of the podcast, which you might not have heard yet, is how to simplify your offer by price or proposition. And we're not talking about becoming the cheapest in town here. We're talking about how could you open up brand new marketplaces by the cost of what you're offering dramatically below what other people have done so far. But in order to do that, you have to bring your costs down accordingly. But if you can manage it, you can open up a whole new marketplace, and that was really exciting proposition. Talking of propositions, you can also simplify your offering by proposition, which means that you become so gorgeously easy to use or so enjoyable to use. Like, for example, the iPhone. It was just so lovely. The design was so fantastic. It did so many amazing things, but the battery didn't last that long, but nobody cared because it was so beautiful, and they were willing to pay a premium price for it too. So there you go. There's the two ends of the spectrum, and we discuss it at length on the podcast on episode 116. Episode out this week, as I say, is all about how and why you should create an interim product for your visitors to your website and the people who opt in for your free gifts. So that's me, over and out for this week. See you next week.